Papua New Guinea, and welcome to another episode of Business PNG. PNG, the Pacific sub-region's largest economy, faces tough challenges in pursuing effective economic management while maintaining public spending for the delivery of basic social services. Now, this is according to the Asian Development Bank report, the Pacific Economic Monitor. The report goes on to say that economic growth in PNG will reach 4.3% in 2016, slowing to 2.4% next year. Forecasts for global growth in 2016 have been lowered to 3.1%, the same rate as last year, due to weakness in demand, international trade and capital flows, as well as demographic trends and lackluster productivity growth. According to an ADB report that was launched recently, although the medium-term outlook for PNG's economy plans for modest increases in revenue and expenditure until 2020, forward revenue projections may not be realistic without further fiscal consolidation. PNG is likely to miss its fiscal targets.
The economy is slowing down after the last few years of very high rates of growth. We expect growth this year to come around 4%, slowing down further to 2.4%. The non-mining sector is expected to grow around 3.8% and slow down to 3.2%. Inflation, which we expected to stabilize around 6%, there are some risks to further increases. It's too early to say, just because we don't have the data yet into the year, how much that would be. But perhaps the more important message from the presentation really was the need to start addressing some of the fiscal challenges that the government has been facing. And in that regard, there were a couple of points that we presented. First is to perhaps try and close the gap between allocation and expenditure. By that meaning, what we allocate, we must ensure that it is properly planned and executed so that the resources are not kept idle, incurring costs.
The 2015 final budget outcome reported that revenues fell 21.3% short of original budget estimates. Government cut total expenditure by 16.7%, yielding a budget deficit equivalent to 5% of GDP, near the 4.5% target.
Future budget preparation is for the government to consider allocating based on some objective criteria of performance or capacity. And this is the point trying to make, that there's no point allocating resources, particularly in a constrained environment like now, to areas or sectors where we do not know whether it will get executed. And this does not mean to say that we should not allocate in some of the key priority areas that or sub-sectors within those priority areas, but perhaps have a greater appreciation that there may be need to build capacity of those particular institutions before resources are allocated, because as you know, or as everyone knows, it's a very constrained environment, and every toya needs to be efficiently used.
Strain on fiscal resources, as well as persistent pressures on foreign currency reserves and the impact this has on the government and external liquidity, drove some international credit rating agencies to downgrade their outlook on the PNG economy.
I think the issue is more on towards the issue of uncertainty, and uncertainty will generally affect business confidence. But it's not just the factors that you mentioned, but allowing these fiscal gaps to continue, for example, or some of the other macroeconomic challenges starts to chip away on the business confidence, which till now we see to be quite positive even into the forthcoming years. But there are growing concerns about, from the business sector, perhaps on the performance of the economy. And if we do not address it now, or arrest some of these issues now, it could start chipping away into that positive business confidence.
Welcome back. Amongst the challenges of doing business in the country, there are some striving entrepreneurs who aim to succeed and propel their business from strength to strength. In this Entrepreneur Engaged segment, we feature a relatively new local bar on the fringes of Port Moresby along the Magi Highway, fast becoming a favorite to city residents. We present Red Rock Bar. Welcome to another segment of Entrepreneur Engage here at the new Red Rock Bar, 15 minutes out of Port Moresby, where we join the owner, Stephen Kilage, who tells us more about the outdoor bar and the activities that it has to offer.
Yeah, my name is Stephen Kilage. I'm the owner of Red Rock. Basically, I own a security firm called Corporate Guards, and we wanted to put our security base here. So if you drive in, you'll start seeing we're trying to build a security area, parking area for our security base. And we came up here doing some of our training runs, and we saw that we use it for our functions. So a couple of my friends and family asked me to kind of open a bar up. So we originally built that small one for little family gatherings and stuff, and then seeing the kind of vibe that's generating. People generally like the view and the wind. So I decided to open the bar up. So that's how Red Rock kind of started. Initially, when we dug this area, there were a lot of red stones. So we just decided to call it Red Rock. The manager is Carol Weber. She used to run Club 69. I myself run the club along with Carol, but the staff, basically general people around here, 6 Mile, and just local staff. There's about 10 to 12. Cost because of lack of infrastructure. We had to build the roads ourselves. There's no there's no water. There's no power. So we're actually looking at getting solar power. And currently, right now, we're pumping water since there is no Edirano line coming through here. I guess I think most of it's because of the view, and then our friendly staff. Yes. One thing we key on is also the music, and the breeze is all day. You get this nice, cool breeze coming in, and then with the music, we try to attend to details on service and little things like that. Having clean facilities. If there's any complaints, we'd like to address it. Yeah, we like to give back. We're a Papua New Guinea company. We do have, there's a boy that is suffering from cerebral palsy. His name is Sally. We gave the area for free. So we do like to help give back to the community. So if there's anyone out there who needs medical appeal to Singapore or whatnot, we'd love to help out. All we want to do is sell our drinks, so if we can help them sell tickets to whatever they want. Yes, we love to expand. Our plan is actually to have bungalows here and turn it into like a resort. But it's quite hard with the economy and nationals going to banks and getting loans without equity and things like that. We open on Wednesdays to Sundays, so that's 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. So our license is issued by the Central Provincial Government. So it's from 10 to 12. 2 o'clock in the morning. Well, ladies' night, basically, it starts from 6 to 7. We give special invites to a couple of our patrons. And it's basically, it's kind of like, we call it a hen's night, where ladies come in-house cocktails for an hour. If you don't get an invite, you can pay 50 kina. And you can come in. The 50 kina gets you. We've got a lot of games by. There's a group of boys called the Heartbreakers, and they come in. They're a good bunch of guys trying to do something. They get out there, do fun games with the ladies, drinking games, whatnot. It's not a strip show. A lot of people think it's a strip show. It's not a strip show. It's just guys playing fun games, entertaining the ladies. Free cocktails all night. So the girls, we tried it out last week. It was good. The girls really enjoyed it. We do want to expand and finish the bar. There's certain things we want to do, but because of the economy being so tight, a lot of, especially my other company, that's where I'm getting most of my cash to build this place. and it's really tight right now. Everywhere, every business in Papua New Guinea is really feeling the punch. Um, Back in the day, you can get checks drawn up every month, but now it's taking longer for companies to draw out checks. A lot of companies are kind of winding down, and we're feeling the punch too. In that, a lot of business is not coming because a lot of people don't have money to spend anymore. But usually, we get our business from our, not non-government organizations.
After a ceremonious exposition in Mount Hagen, the financial inclusion momentum continues with a new and improved website for the Center for Excellence in Financial Inclusion. The site will feature for the first time financial data from partner microfinance institutions for public consumption. The website launch is a significant step towards propelling the financial inclusion initiative that the bank has started. After the successful Mount Hagen Expo last week, hosted by the bank with the support of other stakeholders, information and the dissemination of information to the public is now vital, as according to Governor Loy Bakani, the public is hungry for information.
Using website also as one medium of relating some of the things we do on financial inclusion, financial activities in terms of data that we get out of different activities that we have to the people of Papua New Guinea. As I define financial inclusion here in this instance is basically to try and get or to attempt to bring the financial services to our people who are at the moment not banked or don't have any form of access to any financial services. So we call them unbanked. So we want to bring them into the formal banking services sector so they can also benefit and also improve on the way they do things, the way they live, they improve on the way they look after money, their incomes and all that, so to improve their livelihood.
The new website is user-friendly and interactive, with a contact section that allows the public to send an email or call into the center for further information.
SFE is trying to do bring financial services to the people, and also we feel that there is a huge information gap where the people doesn't know what's happening, what are the things and so forth. So I think we are trying to use the website to have a continuous communication with people. One is, it should not be a one-way process where we provide information. We would like people to give us a feedback so that we can charter the territory much more a people-friendly way, and to reach the desired goals of financial inclusion. So that's basically what we are trying to do here.
Also, a new feature is a section called Faces, where users can read testimonials by Papua New Guineans from around the country whose lives have been improved by financial education and inclusion.
This actually at the moment what we have submitted was 31st March 2016. I think 30th June 2016 should be up at least by end of July, mid-August we should have the data. Because we are collecting this data from all the financial institutions in the country, so it takes a little bit of time to collect, process and then clean up the data and then put it up on the web.
According to a research carried out by the Bank of Papua New Guinea and the Institute of National Affairs, in the country, over 85% of the low-income population are living in rural areas and do not have access to formal financial services, such as a bank account or loan, and that most rural communities had no readily accessible financial services, and rural villages must often travel significant distances to access a bank branch or ATM. Estimates of the number of adults who have accounts with regulated financial institutions vary between approximately 435,000 and 800,000 adults.
I think, as you know, the first strategy was to reach, we had very specific milestones in the first strategy, and we are very happy that we have reached most of the milestones that we really wanted to reach. The second one, I think the first feature is that we are going to have a bit of a long-term horizon strategy so that we really can make a big change in the country. And also we are concentrating on few areas. One of the things that we would really like to do is to get digital financial services to reach the whole country. because we feel that the traditional banking branch networks are not going to serve a lot of rural areas.
The same report found that women are significantly less involved in all aspects of household financial management and are significantly more likely to be financially excluded compared to men, calling for greater investment in financial literacy programs targeted specifically to women. This is obviously a great cause for concern and has resulted in financial inclusion being a development priority for the government of the day.
Second important aspect is reaching women. Recent World Bank study indicated the real financial exclusion is rural women. So we will have a dedicated strategy to reach rural women, and also CEFI is really trying to do a project called Women in Financial Inclusion. So that will be another important feature that we will try to incorporate. And as you know, one of the things that has really come up in the first strategy is that we have introduced micro-insurance, and it has really revolutionized. They have reached unprecedented levels. So we would like to expand on it. Because a lot of people, we have a misnomer in this country. Having a bank account they consider financial inclusion is just having a bank account. I think there are a range of financial services. So we will, in the second strategy, we will emphasize on that, where we will concentrate on range of, it can be savings, it can be loans, it can be investment instruments, it can be insurance, so full range of financial services. And finally, I think we will concentrate on client protection principles. Because that's a very important aspect in financial inclusion. We don't want institutions to exploit this. So we are devising a strategy framework where we will have client protection principles in place. So these are the key areas that we'll concentrate.
And that's all from us tonight. For more business news, if you would like to view this episode again, visit EMTV online at the URL at the bottom of the screen. Or for up-to-the-minute business news and updates, like our page on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at Business PNG or on Tumblr. Until next week, have a pleasant evening. I'm Leon Jarari, and this was Business PNG.